Hey guys, Eric here with driverlineup.com, world's okayest steering wheel holder, and the one and only Longhaul Gypsy.
Hey guys.
Coming at you guys with a little bit of an interview. I don't think I've ever interviewed you.
No.
And I've had so many opportunities. So when she was coming to the house today and I was actually here, I was like, okay, I gotta get this locked down. So it's kind of been a well, first of all, if you don't follow her channel, which you should be, but she's almost at 500 subscribers as of the time of this video being made. Her link will be down in the description below. You can go probably just search Longhaul Gypsy and it'll come up too. But just to make sure, click the link below. I'll put it in the top comment pinned as well. She is a Prime Inc. driver and has some ambitions that I think you guys will be really excited to watch as her journey unfolds.
Yeah, lots of announcements coming up within the next year.
Lots of good stuff. So the last 2 days have been, nostalgic's probably not the right word, but fun for me because, of course, there's Hopper, who I've talked about on the channel before, and he was like my first referral. But yesterday, Herd Bull with Herd Bull Trucking, he's on YouTube as well, was getting into his truck upgrading. And I kind of joked with Jenna that it felt like watching a bird leave the nest, you know,
Right.
Just seeing them get on their Prime Inc. journey. Now, Longhaul, she was a driver before, so she's not a new driver, but new to Prime. And she upgraded, what, a month or two ago?
Yeah, it's been right at a month since I did my first load.
And she was, you can go back and watch her older videos. She went through her TNT with Million Mile Man. Which I've said before, I'll say it all the time. I think he is a top trainer at Prime, should get a lot more recognition. So anyway, make sure you look her up. And I wanted to, now that you're kind of out there and building and seeing Herd Bull, and the reason I put that, she has a lot more experience. She's not new to this, but I met both of them in January when she was beginning her Prime Inc. journey. And Herd Bull was like a deer in headlights, you know.
Right, I don't think in January when we had our meetup, and it was like 2 days before I went out with Million Mile Man, and then Herd Bull came in literally a couple days after I left. So I didn't meet him in person actually until a couple of days ago.
Okay.
So it's been, we talk on the phone, and I try to encourage, which is what I really try to do with new drivers, and because I can still see their perspective, but it can offer some insight where they're like lost. And so yeah, I was able to meet him a couple days ago, but I left just days before he came in. But Discord is where all that came about. So.
Yeah, it's been really neat. Herd Bull mentioned Longhaul Gypsy yesterday about how helpful she's been, and of course, if you guys aren't on the Discord channel, that link is below too. It's a chat app. It's a very easy to use mobile app. Longhaul Gypsy's on there. You can tag her. You can private message her, and connect with her that way if you have questions, especially if you're a female driver, future highway diamond. You have questions. Don't hesitate to jump on there and ask. But I think, and take Discord and all that stuff out of it. I think seeing her journey and Herd Bull's journey is kind of lending to, I want to start with community.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Longhaul Gypsy's been very much plugged into, again, it's not about Discord, it's about Prime. We talk all the time about the community, the Kool-Aid,
I'm drinking it.
of how kind of connected drivers get, and she's been probably the best friend that Jenna has in the Prime world, and that's been really good for Jenna. It's been really healthy for Jenna, but she's great friends with other drivers as well, and it's just fun how that organic sense of community comes about. So let's go back to January. Now, you already had some driver experience.
Right.
But you show up in Springfield and you're going on this Prime journey. Did you immediately sense that kind of community, or that you were plugged into something?
Yeah, it really, first of all, when I got here, having been through something loosely similar in training, but it really took just a couple of days. I had been watching a couple of videos, a couple of YouTubers. It literally was like day 2 of my experience here that I found driver lineup. And you guys just welcomed me into Discord, into the, I didn't even know you yet. But with Discord, and it was very small. I think it was less than 100 people in January when I popped in there and was like, hey, my channel was so new. But it literally, within the first week of me being at Prime, I was completely immersed with people, not just that are YouTubers or in Discord or whatever, but even the environment in the PSD program. My trainer, PSD trainer, was Tim Weimer. He is on site, in-house. He was super great. Dee Sova is just a huge in the highway diamond life and so encouraging. And while she's not involved in some of the things we do, or YouTube or Discord or anything like that, she embodies this kind of environment and community that we talk about all the time. So it's not people. I've heard people say, "Oh, it's just the YouTube community that's got that community going on," and we've all heard, "Oh, YouTubers get special treatment." But that sense of community, I also noticed almost immediately from from the beginning, with people that are not even in the YouTube world or things like that. So it is a Prime thing. It is totally a Prime thing, the sense of community, the sense of family.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I think if you're not at Prime yet, or you're just interested in Prime, of course, you see the world through the lens of YouTube, the Prime world. But more drivers than not don't even know that we exist on YouTube.
True.
There's trucks circling all the time at Prime who have no idea who we are. But they're all out helping each other, collaborating, asking each other questions, meeting and talking about their journeys on the road inside the cafe at Millennium
Absolutely.
Building. So the community extends well beyond YouTube. I think YouTube drives a lot of it. We have a lot of energy in what our messaging is, but it really is a Prime thing. That culture and that community existed before YouTube channels existed.
Absolutely.
And
I believe it.
And you're saying you felt that on the pad during PSD, well outside of YouTube.
Absolutely. It felt like home when I got here. It felt like home. I find it very important. I want people that are interested in Prime and interested in coming here to do their research, though. And yes, one of the main ways to reach out and do that research is through one of the YouTube channels, for sure, because we're more public. I know I always put my information in my descriptions, how to reach me by email or phone. I know you do that as well. I know several of our friends do the same thing, because we want people to know how special it is to be here. I've worked for other companies. One specifically is not in existence anymore, and there was definitely a very big disconnect between, everyone. So to come to Prime and find that there is such a sense of unity, if you want to say that, unity, community, whatever. It is very desirable in an occupation that can be very lonely, very solo adventure type thing, and that appeals to some people. But for those of us who may have lacked connection with people and needed it previously, Prime does give you that sense of communal, familial, that I know personally I always craved in my life, in my being. So to come in and everybody just kind of envelops you in this not in a virtual hug, where they're just, it just feels like that kind of energy, and almost a love sense in a way that is just like, okay, sorry guys.
Yeah, she's
Sorry, phones ring.
And that's I think a lot of the questions that we see are, we see a lot of hesitation at upgrade.
Oh, wow, yes.
Am I going to? Well, I won't say who, but someone in the last couple of days has been very nervous, extremely nervous about going out on that individual's own, but did convey that it felt substantially less lonely because there are people, like Gypsy said, that you can call, message, and that I just don't think that exists now. I can't speak to any other companies. I've talked to drivers from many other companies, and they kind of like laugh that we all buy Prime Inc. clothing as if, you're wearing Prime Inc. clothing, I'm wearing Prime Inc. clothing. That we actually, it's a real cost. It's not like this company stuff that you get for $2. It's real legit clothing that we go buy and make it a big part of our wardrobe. I think when you go through the training, you're plugged into something, like you said, on the PSD on the pad. But when you get a truck and those keys are given to you, you don't just go out there by yourself. You can if you want, but you are still just as plugged into a group of people who, at all levels of experience, could be 3 months, 2 years. There's drivers with 10, 15, Million Mile Man. He's been driving for over a decade.
Well, he is literally, I think, working on 18 years.
18 years.
Driving. Working on his 4th year with Prime.
4th year with Prime. So that's, it's incredible. So if you're thinking about that, take that into account. You can see all kinds of other stuff that we've said on YouTube. But that sense of community, I'll never stop talking about it. No. And Gypsy's proof that she walked into something where she felt immediately a part of it. And now she's moving into a position of making other people feel a part of it. So it's like this organic, it just keeps getting better and better. It's awesome.
I love that word, organic.
Yeah, it is. And no one's driving that either. No one at Prime. I know a lot of you guys think that Prime is like plugged into our YouTube channels and they're like reaching out to us, and they don't. No. There's no communication with us what's outside of what any other driver would have. This happens organically and naturally on its own, which is really amazing. So you've been in your own truck for a couple months.
Nope, just one.
1 month. And you're a solo driver, Highway Diamond.
All day, every day.
So what would you say to someone? What has that experience been? It's not going to be golden and without problems,
sure,
right?
I've had my issues, and that's trucking, right? Stuff happens. My very first trip, I was stuck on the side of the road in Nashville, and for 5 hours.
First load.
So but there's a video about it. So first load, but I am a planner to the T, and I can trip plan the heck out of anything. And was it frustrating? Absolutely. But I made everything on time. It was a 3-drop load. My first load was a 3-drop load. 2 of them around Atlanta. So,
well, that's that first load is a big thing to take into consideration on you guys. If you want to know tips, what happens if something goes wrong? Now, she went straight lease. Well, right there is proper trip planning can help you circumnavigate hurdles. And there's going to be hurdles, you guys, every week. If you watch my YouTube channel, sometimes it looks like we're just skating by and everything's beautiful. And then all of a sudden, 2 days, we hate everything in the world,
That's normal.
And,
you either love life or you hate life when you're out there.
Yeah.
It is like, actually can be moment by moment.
Yeah, but... But really good trip planning. That's a huge tip, you guys. If you want to know how to circumnavigate those rough waters when you come out of training, just a good trip planning, making sure that you know what kind of time you have. You're in good communication, And when shit hits a fan, you'll be able to get through it. So her experiences, and like she said, they're on her YouTube channel, so make sure you go watch those, especially over the last month since she's been upgraded, are proof that it's not going to be perfect when you come out of training and upgrade into your truck, but it's also something it's not going to be something that wrecks your life either. I think you've made decent money, all things considered.
I am, all things considered. Is there room for improvement? Of course. I'm learning the Prime way and learning how to run my business. But I am completely happy with where I stand. And knowing it just gets better. And, over this last month, I've created the plan that I'm setting forth by this. And I can confidently plan on paper and in my mind what I want to happen, with some adjustments here and there, of course, because nothing is concrete and solid. But I can confidently, with Prime, go forward with a plan for my future and be confident that it's going to be successful with hard work, because that's what we have to do. Plan and work hard.
Definitely going to be hard work. I remember going back to TNT, I remember I did a video. Jen and I were in Florida talking about how, and you actually were on my mind when I made that video, among others, but there's this, it's kind of fun, and you're on the other side of it now, but it's kind of fun, probably not for the drivers, but you see drivers come into PSD and there's like videos every day, and they're telling their story, day 1 orientation, day 2 orientation, day 3 orientation.
I did it.
And then they go into TNT and it's just dead silence. And that's because it is hard work. It's hard work, not just the physical toll that it takes on you, but the mental toll that it takes on you. You're learning. Now, you had already had a lot of experience in trucks, but you learn the psychological warfare that occurs when you don't have any set schedule. You're sleeping in an alley behind a building somewhere,
Yes.
without good restroom facilities. I mean, what's that like?
Well, fortunately, I probably had the best training experience ever. I mean,
Yeah.
Willie really worked hard, and he does this. It wasn't just for me. Willie is that trainer that works hard to accommodate and see what his student, what they're comfortable with driving, what they, he says, when did you sleep as a kid? When were you a night owl? Were you up early? That kind of thing. And he literally will adjust himself to the student and what their needs are. So when I say that I had the optimum training experience, I did. Now, emotionally, living in a space with someone you don't know and you're not in an intimate relationship with, then there's where your stressors come in. And then the stressors from the outside world, because our families don't always understand and stuff happens. My stupid car got stolen and wrecked while I was in TNT. And that was probably the most stress I felt the whole time. But I had a trainer that was like, don't worry, we'll make whatever you need, we're going to make it happen. Learning to sleep in irregular places, and girls without restrooms, we're extra that way. I mean, guys have the advantage there, but yes, it's hard. It's hard, even under the best of circumstances. And when you leave that environment in upgrade week, I have no words for upgrade week. It is so stressful. I was a cranky mess for that week, because it was kind of like, you've had this 10 weeks from heck, and it's so stressful, so much information coming at you. And while I didn't have let's learn how to drive forward, right? I had that part. But what Willie did with me is he said, okay, fine. As Willie would say, okay, pimp, we'll go another direction. We'll teach you about the lease business, right? So that was so much. It's so stressful. So everybody's is unique, but we cannot, minimize the stressful part of it.
Yeah, I think that upgrade week is It's interesting because it's a combination of,
being hit by a freight train.
well, yeah, but it's a combination of, oh, thank God, you know, I can move on to the next stage, but oh my God, I have to let go of
Your trainer.
Yeah.
And the plethora of information that your trainer, you're like going, oh my God, this person just helped me do so many things. Who is going to spot me when I back this trailer? Who? And then the worry is, can I do it on my own?
Yeah.
Well, I've answered that question a lot this week. Yes, you can. In fact, you'll get so much better within the first week of that first trip on so many things that you'll be amazed at what you can do. Trust your training. Trust yourself.
And you know what I say about that first week? Because I had probably the most difficult backing situations that since I've been in a truck. My first week solo. And I told Herdbull that yesterday. I said, the great thing about this first week is that when you get through it, you're really going to be a professional driver because you don't have a choice.
No, not even at all.
If you pull into a TA late at night and there's that one spot and it's terrifying, you got to figure it out. You know,
right.
If you're at a chaotic shipper and receiver and there's trucks going everywhere and they want you to leave your truck over here with the flashers on, going and do a paperwork, there's nobody left in that truck when you get out of it. You know, you have to figure it out. And on the one hand, that's terrifying. But on the other hand, that's liberating.
It is.
Because when you get to the other side of that, you're like, okay, you know, I'm ready.
It's like,
yeah,
you got to do it because, you know, you are out there on your own. But I want to put something else in there. And I told Herdbull the same thing this week. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. Mm-hmm. Trust me, the truck next to you would rather you ask for help than to hit them.
Yeah, even right? Wake me up if you're if you're backing into my truck.
My motto is, my whole mantra is, don't hit shit.
Yeah,
that's how you get through the whole day, every day. That's my mantra.
It's funny
all
you say
day
that.
long.
Now I had a terrible PSD trainer, and I don't mind talking about it because he's no longer a prime, but. The one good advice of my PSD trainer is he said, don't ever end up on Twisted Trucker, which is...
you know, I used to be I used to be like all up in it, and I'm like, this is so wrong.
Yeah.
But true, I don't want to be there.
He for 8 years, just every day woke up and said, don't end up on Twisted Trucker. So it is really, we were talking about this earlier in the living room, it is really, don't hit anything, you know? And so anyway, we're at 22 minutes. We'll wrap this up, but what would you say to anyone who's thinking about coming to Prime? Is the grass greener on the other side of that long priming training program that everybody complains about? And is it worth it?
100%, hands down. At 53 years old, I would do it again in a heartbeat. So worth it. I'm thrilled. Just do your homework. There's so many of us you can reach out to. You know, pick your favorite person and use their code kind of thing. I've got phone number, email out there. Eric it has, I know others do as well, and we'll gladly answer any questions you might have. Yes, the grass is greener on the Prime side, and having been other places, I'm confident in saying that.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. Make sure you check out Longhaul Gypsy's channel. Subscribe to her. Like I said, she's almost at 500. And it's a great channel anyway.
At 500.
It's going to be, there you go. So there's a good reason to go subscribe other than the great content. So there's a couple good reasons. So make sure you go subscribe. Again, that link is below in the description. I'll pin it on the top of the comments as well. Be safe, make good decisions, always drive to thrive. We'll talk to you guys soon.